Good morning, everyone. My humblest apologies for the delay. We had a small gremlin in our system, but as you know, we have challenges with technology in South Africa. So I'm going to start off with my name. My name is Shani Kelly, and I'm going to do a repeat of the last week's presentation on reinstatements of companies and CCs. Please, if you have any queries, please put it on the comment sections. We have officials that's answering the question. And at the end of my presentation, I will be answering live other questions that have not been answered. Now, my presentation will consist of the consequences of non-compliance, final deregistration, reinstatement, incidental information, and Learn-i-Biz. Consequences of non-compliance. If you do not submit your annual return for 2 or more successful years, the system will automatically put you in deregistration. You will be in the deregistration process, so you can still file your annual returns for the outstanding years and be reinstated. However, deregistration status is as a risk indicator that the company or CC may be coming to an end soon. Banks, service providers, or customers may require the company or the closed corporation to file annual returns for them to do business. Continued non-compliance equals final deregistration. So when you are in the deregistration pending phase and you do not submit your annual returns, your company will be deregistered. The consequences of deregistration. A company or CC as a registered business cease to exist. It loses the benefits of being a registered business, but perpetually existence and limited liabilities. Directors can be held personally liable for all debts. The bank may freeze your bank account. Social providers may stop doing Service providers may stop doing business with you, and creditors may even refuse to pay you. So until you reinstate your business, this could be the consequences of having your business deregistered. Final deregistration. CIPC is clearing the register of dormant and inactive companies and CCs. So if you have not paid your annual returns for 2 subsequent months, your company will be deregistered. Deregistration is when a company or a CC is officially removed from the CIPC's register and it loses its legal status because it is dormant or inactive. It has not filed annual returns and BO declarations, as well as its directors or members initiated voluntary deregistration. Okay, so that is the reasons that we have for a company losing its deregistration status. Final deregistration. Status description. AR final deregistration, not voluntary final deregistration. How to determine your status. On the BIZ portal platform, you go to www.bizportal.gov.za. You log in and you go into your BIZ portal profile. Okay. Final deregistrations. January 2024 over 1.7 million businesses have not filed their annual returns. February 2025, over 700,000 have not filed their annual returns. Final deregistration from September 2024 is automated, and final deregistration will depend on the day that they refer to as annual deregistration. Companies and CCs only. So this does not apply to cooperatives. What now? Final deregistrations notices have been emailed to all directors of companies and members of the CCs. Remember, you have completed the application for company registration and added the directors to the companies. So the email address and the contact numbers that we have on our system, we email them the final deregistration notice. So please check that you have the correct details of your directors on our system. Determine whether economic value in name of business and can prove economic value of businesses. If there's an economic value to your business, it can be reinstated. If there is no economic value, you need to open up a new company. The name of your company becomes immediately available for someone else to use or to reserve. Deposit made, the money is in the customer's account, but finally deregistered, then the deposit or the money can be used for the reinstatement process, for a new company registration. Alternatively, you can ask for a refund. The email address that we use for refunds are revenue@cipc.co.za. You need to produce, when you're applying or requesting for a refund, you need your proof of the deposit, the stamped confirmation of the bank account, certified ID copy of the owner of the account. Okay? If you do not receive the Core 40.3 or the Core 40.4 and or the final deregistration notice, it is because the contact details of the directors and the members are outdated. Or the service provider that you have used their contact details instead of yours. So it's very important that you check and see if the notices or the information that we have on the CIPC systems are correct and updated. How to update contact details of directors and members to receive notices in future. The directors or the members amendment, you need to do an amendment for the correct details of theirs. Directors must provide their own contact details and not that of the service provider. Download of letters. If referred to AR deregistration from September 2024, letters can be downloaded from e-services and from BizPortal platforms, provided that the active director or member at the time of deregistration. So if you were an active member or an active director at the time when your company went into deregistration, you can download the certificate from both the e-services and the BizPortal platform. Use the ID number associated with the customer code to determine whether letters are available. 6 months from final deregistration is free of charge. Otherwise, a disclosure request must be paid for. So for 6 months, your letter, your annual return deregistration letter is free of charge. Thereafter, you need to do a disclosure request, and this you need to pay for. Service providers and third parties will not have access or obtain letters free of charge. Disclosure request and must pay for it. Okay? So the letters are not free for service providers and third parties. They need to do a disclosure request, and this they need to pay for. How to access the online deregistration letter. Downloadable letter. Only for those companies and close corporations who were referred to deregistration non-compliance from 1st September 2024. Only for their annual returns deregistration, ID number must be the same as the active director or the company secretary, and free of charge for active directors, members, company secretaries. This is available for 6 months only. The requested via AR team or the disclosure unit. If the final deregistration is older than 6 months, then a request must be sent to the CIPC paper-based disclosure unit at disclosure inquiry at cipc.co.za. A fee is required. I'm going to repeat the email address. It's disclosure inquiry, one word, at cipc.co.za. If a third party is requesting for the letter, then request via paper-based disclosure needs to be done, and this has a fee attached. If a company or CC provides requests via the AR team, they need to email annual returns to at cipc.co.za. All this information is available on the CIPC website.
Apologies, Shani. The slides is not moving. It's still on the first page.
Oh dear. Lorato, can you please see what is happening?
Sorry, Shani. I actually sent you a message to check on the slides, and we were trying to see if we can move. Yeah, that's fine now.
Is it fine now?
They are moving.
Okay. Reinstatement requirements. Must have economic value on date of final deregistration. So the company must be active when the final deregistration was done. Example of proof, bank statements is the most common evidence that we require. Immovable property, that is if the business has a property, a win deed or letter from the land registrar. The IP rights, example, trademarks or extract from the trademark register. Shares, letter, notification from the issuer of the shares that the company or the CC holds shares. Outstanding liabilities, example, letter, or notification from SARS that credit or rebate, or even that the company has outstanding tax liabilities. Lease agreement must indicate parties, and one of the parties must be the company or the CC, and this must not be an expired lease agreement. Assets, the car is one of the assets that you can use. Then the statement of the financer or confirmation of the letter or notice from the Department of Transport that the asset belongs to the company. Who may apply for reinstatement? Section 82. Subsection 4 of the Companies Act Any interested party may apply for reinstatement of a company or a CC. Only companies or CCs or its duly appointed representative may file annual returns, file beneficial ownership declaration or the security register, file AFS or FAS, that is your annual financial statement or the financial accountability supplement. Third parties do not have such information, and therefore they cannot complete reinstatement process, since all annual returns and other documents must be submitted to complete the process. Third parties may apply to the courts. Reinstatement steps. Steps to follow before and after reinstatement. Number 1, check that the company or CC status determine whether the entity statements AR deregistration process or it is in AR final deregistration. So you need to check the status of your company. Assessment, point number 2, determine whether the company or CC was active at the time of deregistration or immovable property is registered in the name of the company or the CC. Point number 3, source documents. Gather all the required documentation and information to avoid delays or rejection of the application. Number 4, payments. Deposit funds, an amount of 200 Rand, must reflect in the customer code's balance before sending the email. So your funds must reflect on the customer code before you submit the application. Point number 5, submit the application and all supporting documents only in a PDF or as a single email to reinstatements@cipc.co.za. Now, note the reinstatement email address. It's re-instatements@cipc.co.za. Once reinstatement is processed, continue to submit all outstanding annual returns and the latest beneficial ownership declarations within 30 days. You only have 30 days after reinstatements. Otherwise, your company is reverted back to the deregistration process. Ensure that CIPC has your updated contact details and information for your business. Steps for reinstatement. Number 1, determine your status. Is it in the AR final deregistration or the deregistration process? The assessment as to the economic value at time of final deregistration. Is it economically viable to reinstate your company, or is it economically viable to open up a new company? Source all the required documents and information for reinstatements, annual returns, AFS or FAS, and beneficial ownership. Deposit funds of an amount of 200 Rand, which must reflect in the customer code before sending emails. Submit application and all supporting documents as a single email to reinstatements. Note the dash at cipc.co.za with all attachments in the PDF format. Submit and pay all outstanding annual returns. Even though you deposit the funds in the account, you need to still file. You need to lodge your annual returns. Simply depositing funds in the customer code does not mean that you filed your annual returns. You need to go a step further and lodge your annual returns. Ensure that the latest financial accountability supplement is completed and your BO. Ensure that all directors' addresses are updated on the system. Their addresses, their email addresses, and the contact details needs to be updated and correctly captured. An originally completed form, Core 40.5 or a letter of similar content needs to be attached. The form can be downloaded from the CIPC website. Your customer code to be indicated on the Core 40.5 form. So it's important that the form has your customer code. If you do not have a customer register, one by following the link of BIZ portal brought to you by CIPC. So if you do not have a customer code, please register your customer code on BIZ portal. If you registered your code, deposit the required funds in the bank account. The CIPC banking details are on the CIPC website. Mandate from the application on whose behalf the application is being submitted. So if you're submitting the reinstatement on behalf of a client, please state that on the form. Sufficient funds in your customer code to process the application. Most applications are being rejected due to insufficient funds. So ensure that your funds are reflected before you email us the application. A reinstatement application carries a 200 Rand statutory fee. Deposit the funds, and once the deposit is reflected in the customer code, email the entire application. Certified IDs of all active directors or members. Alternatively, if the director and member is deceased, execute a letter and certified copy of the executed needs to be attached. Certified ID copy of the applicant, that means the owner of the customer code. Certification must not be older than 3 months, and the commissioner of oath must be clearly identifiable, traceable, and the designation needs to be included. Sufficient documentary proof shows that the company or close corporation was in business or has economic value or even has any outstanding assets or liabilities. Example of possible proof: bank statements, immovable property, IP rights, shares letter, outstanding liabilities, lease agreements, and assets that is linked to the company. Court orders to be emailed to corporate legal services at cipc.co.za for service and recordal purposes. Please note, advise that court orders must also mandate companies or CCs to bring all obligations up to date within a period of time, failure of which the company or CCs will be placed back into annual deregistration for non-compliance. So even though you have a court order, if you do not comply with the obligations of filing your annual returns and your PO, your company can be reverted back to AR final deregistration. Incidental information. The submission of the annual return information together with payments should have been made before final deregistration. Mere tiniest payment or deposit of fees is not regarded as filing of annual returns. If payments or deposit was made but company or CC was finally deregistered, the company or the CC may be reinstated provided it meets the process and document requirements. If annual returns were filed but not the latest beneficial ownership declaration, such must be filed separately, failure of which CIPC may initiate an investigation against the company or CC and issue a compliance notice. Delays should be expected due to high volumes of final deregistration on inquiries and applications. If you do not receive a response, log a call. Refund of deposits may be logged via revenue@cipc.co.za. So if you require a refund, please use the revenue email address. These email addresses are on our CIPC website. How to stay in the know. Follow CIPC only on any of the social media platforms. So make certain that it's an authentic CIPC email site on social media, and please follow us. Refer to the CIPC website regularly for all our updates of our notices and information that we advertise. The CIPC's website address is www.cipc.co.za. Check your company or CC status regularly. You can check your status on the Biz Portal platform. CIPC online directory training course can be accessed through the CIPC website. As I said, please follow us on social media platforms for all latest updates. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. So on all these social media platforms, you can follow us to keep updated. Keep your company or your CC's information easily accessible. Your welcoming letter, your registration certificate, or filing confirmation and content, financial records, minutes of your meetings, as well as your share registers. Notices relating to final deregistration is published on the CIPC website and social media post. This is a screenshot of how the important notices look, which is on your left-hand side, and on your right-hand side, you will see all the notices published. You can search deregistration and you will get all the titles of the notifications published, as the notices published, as well as the date it was published. In order to access any resources, you will be able to access them on the CIPC website. CIPC's free online course for deregistration, that's the Learn-i-Biz course, as well as follow CIPC on social media. So all our information is available to you free of charge. Okay, the Learn-i-Biz course. The Learn-i-Biz course It's a free online course for directors that offers the opportunity to run your business successfully while staying compliant. You can scan the QR code below. The course is an online direct educational course for prospective, new, and existing directors of SMMEs. The purpose is to educate directors with basic information about their duties and responsibilities in order to improve compliance to the Companies Act of 2008. The course is free of charge. So, for a free course to ensure that you stay compliant with CIPC, please do the course. The course can be done in one setting or at your availability. You can do one module a day, or you can do all 7 modules at one sitting. Okay. If you have any further queries regarding the course, you can email elearning@cipc.co.za. Thank you. That has brought me to the end of my presentation. Now we're going to address the questions that we have. I'm sure that we have a lot of questions that has been already answered by our annual return reinstatement officials. Let's see which questions are still outstanding. Loretta Terry. During interviews with Advocate Follow regarding the reinstatement of the deregistered entities, he mentioned that he has relaxed the requirements for restoration. No notice as yet of the new requirements. Okay, that question, I don't think the officials will be able to answer them. Please monitor our website. We will publish the new notice for you. Okay, the next question. Carla, why would a person apply for voluntary deregistration if we can just leave the company to deregister on its own? What is the difference? Brenda, would you like to take that question? Some companies. Okay. Continue, Brenda.
Okay, some companies they apply for voluntary deregistration if they no longer want it to be registered and it has no legal standing since it's not doing any business or have assets or liabilities.
So that basically means that a company chooses to go into voluntary deregistration. That is of their own free will. Next question. Many entities don't receive the notification because of the agents using their own details as contact details in the past, and the clients don't register as customers. Loretta, please ensure that the directors are informed that if they have a company and that they are directors of a company, it is their responsibility to ensure that the correct information is on the CIPC website.
Can I come in, Shani?
Yes, Jewel?
Thank you, Shani. This question is a good question so that we highlight our audience that as CIPC, we don't have agents. So you must make sure that as a customer or as an audience, you do things on your own, or when you use those people, CIPC, there's no way that I mean, there's no way that we use this agents while we don't have. So almost we encourage our customer to register their entity for themselves. And also on the certificate, on the front page, it shows the email address of the person who register, so that if you don't satisfied with that, you can do the COR39, you amend the details like email address and the cell phone number. And secondly, that is why most of the customers, they don't get their notices that the entity is about to be deregistered or not, because of those email address that are incorrect. Thank you. Shani, you can come back.
Thank you, Joel, for that informative answer. Next question. What alternative supporting documents would sufficient if bank statements are not available and the company has no assets? The company was not dormant. It has just registered as an NPO with the Department of Social Services. Joel, would you take that question?
Thank you, Shani. So this question I think it goes to back to the one that says, I think it was from Loretta, that says during the interview with the commissioner, they say the requirements for the reinstatement was reduced. So if you don't have the bank statement, for example, as per question, just send the documentation and then we will see what we can do.
Thank you for that. Joyce wants to know how long does reinstatement takes. Brenda, can you answer?
Usually it takes 5 days. Currently, we have a backlog, and our turnaround time moved from 5 days to 10 days.
Okay, Joyce, our turnaround time is 10 days to reinstate your company. The next question. How do you pay an annual return on time if the audited financials aren't ready yet? Do we just pay late or risk deregistration?
Thank you,
Okay,
Shani.
it's when
Joel, please
Thank you,
answer the question.
Thank you, Shani, for your question, for the question. So, in the first place, our audience or our customers must know that on annual return, we don't consider, or we don't work on financial year end. It's a date of registration. That is the financial year end. That is why when you file the annual return, for example, when you file the annual return, when you register your company in 2022, for example, so the following year, 2023, you have to start by filing the annual returns. So when you file the annual return on the date of birth of that entity, you file using the turnover for 2022. And then when you file 2024, you use 2023. I think I've answered. Thank you, Shani.
So you use the turnaround time of the previous year, and your annual returns need to be filed on the month of your anniversary, which is the month that you registered your business. Thank you so much for
Correct.
that, Joel. Please advise on the 10-day turnaround time. Is it 10 days from receiving a red receipt from CIPC or 10 days from deducting funds from the CIPC customer code? Brenda, please answer.
is that 10 days from deducting from the funds.
Okay, so it's 10 days from when your funds have been deducted from the customer code. Thank you for that. Next question. I need clarity here as we are restricted to multiple emails to reinstatement at CIPC. How can we know when to resend supporting documents if the system says Application is in process awaiting documents. Vusi, please note your reinstatement address is incorrect. The reinstatement address is reinstatement, re-instatements. Okay? So he wants to know we are restricted to send multiple emails and resend documents when the system says the application is in process. I'm asking this because today it's 11th business day since my application was sent and received a tracking number. Should I wait for 21 days or 14 days before resending supporting documents? Jewel, can you answer that question?
Thank you very much, Shani. I think on this question, although you clarify the email address, so when the application it shows that it has been tracked, so which means it's gonna be tracked within that 10 working days. So it will be captured within, because the tracking number already has been allocated.
Okay,
So
thank you for the answer.
lastly, Shani, on the issue of multiple application on the emails, yes, it's correct, because it end up having a lot of duplication on our mailbox. Thank you, Shani.
Okay, our next question. Why is the requirements to reinstate or deregister companies due to non-compliance of annual returns different to that of reinstating a deregistered company? I don't understand. Brenda, can you answer that
Good day.
question?
Okay. There's no the supporting the requirements are not different. The requirements to
Yes.
reinstate are the same for both voluntary deregistered company and for AR deregistered company. The requirements are the same.
Yes, I also understand the requirements are the same. How long after submitting the reinstatement documents should we file the AR and BO? Does the CIPC notify the clients or customers? Jewel?
Thank you, Shani. Immediately after the capturing of the application for the reinstatement, and then the customer, the email that is linked to that customer code that we've used, send the message that the reinstatement have been done. And then for the filing of the annual return, you can file anytime, including the beneficial ownership. So we did notify our customers.
Okay, that.
Thank you, Fanny.
The next question, please. We have a number of clients who were banking with Itala Bank, which has since been closed, and the clients cannot retrieve bank statements. What can be done in this situation?
Okay,
Brenda, can you please answer
it's
that?
Brenda. I know if customers have a business account, they usually send the customers the bank statements on email. They should submit those emailed bank statements that they receive. I'm not sure if Itala Bank send them or not. But the
Okay.
customers usually they do have the bank statements on email.
Is there Okay, that has brought us to the end. Oh, there's one last question. Can you please repeat the requirements for reinstatement? Okay.
Okay. Hi, Shani. Can you go to the slide for
Yes, I'm
the...
just trying to go through to the slide to show her the requirements. Steps for reinstatement. Determine your status. I think this is the one that she's asking for. There is nothing else.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
This,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to decide whether your company is economically has economic value to be reinstated, or whether a new company should be opened. We would need the bank statement, immovable property. You can do a wind deed or a letter from the land register. Your IP rights of your company, if you have, that is the trademarks or extract from the trademark register. Shares, a letter to state that you have shares, or notification from the issuer of the shares that the company or CC hold shares. Outstanding liabilities, example, a letter or a notification from SARS that credit or a rebate or even an outstanding tax liability is due to your company. Lease agreements, it must indicate parties, and one of the parties must be the company or the CC, and this lease agreement must not be expired. You need to produce proof of the assets that the company owns. For example, a car. If it has a car, then the statement of the financer or the confirmatory letter or even a notice from the Department of Transport. Okay. That is the reinstatement requirements. And I see there's no other questions. So thank you so much, everyone, as well as Berenda and Jewel, for answering our questions. I will see you next week for the reinstatement webinar again. Thank you. If there's any further questions, please post it on the comment section of the Facebook page or any of our social media pages. Our unit will respond to your questions. Alternatively, you can email us on the email address that's on your screen, which is enq.reinstatements@cipc.co.za. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Shani. Bye.